music lovers, music geeks, and music freaks like me. My name is Caeser Pink.
Let your mama down. Let your mama down. Let your mama down. Baby, please.
Today we're going to listen to an instrumental track, mainly instrumental track by Frank Zappa called Redunzel. But before we do that, please take time to like and subscribe. It really helps us build our channel. We are trying to fundraise for the Heritage Living Arts Foundation. All the proceeds from this channel are donated to that organization. And if you want to support us further, you could join our Patreon page or make a one-time tax-deductible donation via PayPal. It's all in the links below in the description. But now, Frank Zappa, Redunzel. What I know about this track is, Redunzel is short for redundant Rapunzel. And apparently that was a nickname he had for his wife Gail, who would apparently often repeat stories or thoughts. And so this song was kind of an in-joke within the family. I became aware of this song when I was in high school. This would have been maybe 78, 79. And there's kind of a story behind what happened. Zappa had wanted to release a 4-album set with a mixture of instrumental stuff, songs, all kinds of stuff kind of mixed together. And his record label, Warner Brothers, refused to do it. So despite them, he went to a radio station and told the listeners to turn on their tape recorders, and he played all 4 albums in a row. But eventually what happened is Warner Brothers took the material that would have been on those 4 albums and released them as a variety of separate albums. There were a lot of the songs were reworked and placed on the Chic Your Booty album, which is one of my favorite. And then the instrumental pieces were released on a series of albums. There was Studio Tan, which is what this is from, Sleep Dirt, and the last one was Orchestral Favorites. But it's kind of an amazing piece of music. I don't know what it is, rock, jazz, classical, it's kind of anything goes. Let's listen to a little bit of it, and then we'll talk and stop and discuss some of it. Here we go, Frank Zappa, Redunzel.
One.
Now that whole section features his percussionist Ruth Underwood on the I think it was xylophone or marimba. Now as far as the composition of this song, one thing Ruth Underwood talked about is they would often be written with chords that had a suspended second. It just, what does that mean? I guess it's lowering the third, which is the middle note of a triad, a half step. But she said that was a trick he used a lot. Now apparently this song, it has a rather long structural section, and then at the end of this section, at the end of each of that section, it would raise up a major third and then play that section a major third, then up another major third, play it again. And now something like this, if you were in music theory class and you wrote it, you would probably not get a good grade. The belief would be that you would have to have some chords between each step up to transition the way, whereas Zappa just does it on a dime. But that's a perfect example of how music theory is often not really in touch with the real world. What else I know about this song, it moves between 12/8 and 4/4 time. The section we listened to, I'm not sure what time signature that was in. It had a nice but a rather unusual rhythm going on underneath. But let's continue on. It seemed like Frank was about ready to start his solo. Okay, personally, I love Zappa's guitar tones. He uses many different, but he always has tones that I just enjoy listening to. The solo, he uses unusual phrasing. Unlike most guitar players, he spends a lot of time in the mid-range or in the lower range of the neck. Just a very nice, creative solo. Let's continue on.
Don't gonna do anymore.
Okay, well, a lot happened in that section. I think the first part of that, it kind of had a very soft, easy listening vibe. But if you listen to what the rhythm was doing, it was very unusual underneath there. And doo-wop music, so you often hear those kind of vocals come into his music. And he's kind of mixing a couple things here. He also has a thing where he kind of directs the musicians, but in a chaotic way, you know, so he might point to this musician and they play a flurry of notes, and over here they hit, or they might all, as they're doing here, babble incoherently. So it's like half of the phrase will be some nice doo-wop vocals, and then half of it will be these bizarre runs and the singers babbling nonsense. Very, very unusual way to make music, and very unusual music. Okay, I believe that keyboard solo was George Duke playing on a Rhodes piano through most of that. George Duke became a successful solo artist in jazz and jazz fusion, great player. I heard him tell a story that when he first got involved with Zappa, that it was kind of confusing to him. He felt insulted being asked to play triplets like from early rock and roll songs, but in time he got to understand the overall concepts that you know, one minute you might be playing something simple, the other you might be playing something very challenging and unique. But he's great here. Here we go. Section, I'm not exactly sure what they're doing with time signatures, but it sounded to me like a lot of different types of triplets. It's really kind of amazing that they were able to hold that together rhythmically through all those changes. And then it ends with a little riff that sounds like it's the end of a cartoon show or something, which is kind of the type of thinking you get from the Zappa mindset. There's seriousness and humor all crammed together in ways you don't expect. But, you know, Zappa did many things, comedic rock, jazz fusion, composed orchestras for full symphonies. But this is a great example of how unique his compositions could be. And to me, this is a very listenable piece of music. It's something I could put on and, you know, play while I'm doing the dishes or doing my accounting, whatever. I think it's a really lovely piece of music. It's certainly not pop music in any way, but I think it's brilliant and wonderful. Well, if you don't know Zappa and you enjoyed this, please check out more. He has a huge catalog of all different things. There's a lot to dig into for a music lover. And again, please like and subscribe. Thank you for visiting my channel. I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.